Thanks a lot for donating. And that's the Nila Ninjas. Yeah, the Nila Ninjas with Eric. So it's gonna be the same map pool as previous series. So first map is gonna be again Florida. And it looks like they're greening up, or at least Migo is greening up into India against Brits. Not sure if Eric wants to play it. Yes, he does. So this is going to be another play all 5. So it's going to be just 5 games, no matter who wins what. And yeah, Florida is a very nice map for India, but also quite good for Brits because of all the hunts you have in your base. So even though this matchup is often considered to be India favored, I think on this map it's maybe a little bit different. It should be a close matchup either way. All right, sorry for that. So let's go. So we have here on the top right of the map, Eric in the color green playing as Brits, while on the other side of the map, it's Migo playing as India in the color teal. And this was, I believe, just a food start. So in Florida, you start with the market. So Snow is gathering some gold, so we will probably see hunting dogs. Since anyway you have always some extra wood as braids after building 1 manor, so you don't actually need to chop any wood. You can just mine 50 gold and get your hunting dogs, which is very nice. Not sure if Migo will get his market upgrade. He might. Treasure contention already, middle map. Migo going for the 2 blowgunners, which is kind of greedy here. He's gonna lose a lot of HP and his elephant. Might actually die. He needs to kill this blowgunner though. Yeah, one elephant is definitely dead, so Migo now just... Yeah, Migo got the treasure, so it's not too bad, but he's lost an elephant. Also, the XP of the elephant didn't go to Snow, it went to Mother Nature, so that's also one good thing for Migo here, not giving this 45 XP to his opponent, but he did lose one of his elephants, which is very, very unfortunate, and Eric gonna decide to not keep chasing. He could have probably killed that elephant, but he's gonna decide to just go back and play it safe maybe and just go for more treasures on the map. On this map you have a lot of treasures, a lot of good treasures usually. So for example 135 gold, which is impossible for India to pick up, but here even better, 105 gold for only 2 alligators. So Eric is probably just gonna go for it, unless he wants to find something more useful, but no, he's going for it. So now India at least can still pick up the sheep, which will give him some extra experience. Even though he might not be able to really pick up any big treasures with only 1 elephant, can still gather the sheep on the map. And what else do we have on this map? There's 2 dogs here. And 100 XP, another nice treasure that Eric actually scouted, so he can go for it later. 60 food here isn't exactly insane, and I don't think anyway 1 elephant can pick that up. So really at this point India should just stay on the right side, which is where the sheep spawn. He should not even try to get any treasure, because it's really unlikely you find any treasure that you can actually pick up with 1 elephant. So he needs to focus on taking the last sheep on the other side. Although most of them are picked already, but there's still 1 here and a couple on top of Eric's base. What about the hunts? My bad, I should have checked earlier. Eric's hunts are actually not very good, are they? It's always hard when solo casting to check the hunts, but I guess this one is okay, right? He can bring it under TC, so it should be okay, but it's not the greatest spawn, unfortunately. India has much more food. To be fair, India, like, you shouldn't spawn with that much food in Florida anyway. Yeah, a bit unfortunate, sorry guys. Although with that hunt, I think it's okay. It's not the greatest spawn, but it's okay. So India is getting his market upgrades now. And he might want to build a trading post as well. He did rescue his second elephant. And Eric got he didn't get gangster upgrade actually. Aging with the tower and gonna send it. He's actually going for a front base here. Because I guess he saw the defensive aggro from India, so he assumed he can go for a front base, which makes sense. And he's dropping his tower next to the water. Even though Migo's deck isn't exactly water focused, it's just got a couple shipments to fight water, but he doesn't actually have any other water upgrades, so I'm not sure why Snow really wants to get the control of the water. Maybe he wants to go water later on, but so far it doesn't look like he does. $700 wood first for Brits, which is very standard. To Seapoy going forward, gonna get sniped a little bit by this explorer. And probably just gonna open up with musketeers. And Migo is training Seapoy, so this is the standard way this matchup goes. People just spamming musks basically. Yeah, looks like Eric is really worried about the water here. He's got a dog here as well. But that tower placement might be a problem for Eric, because if no one ever goes water, which I think is gonna be the case most likely, this tower is gonna be sort of useless here. So Migo defending here. Not much happening. Nothing dying, I think. No unit lost so far for any of these players. The elephant's gonna be able to heal the low HP sepoys. A stable going down for Snow here. And shipping 5 vills, so playing it quite greedy. Just gonna try to raid more, looks like. But it's gonna be very hard to raid India because he will get the auto consulate most likely, an extra line of sight. Not much more to say about this game so far. Well, Eric is maybe a little bit late on his market upgrades. Like Gangsta could have been researched in the beginning of the transition to H2 because he had a market, of course, in Florida, so you can get that earlier. Because now he will get it, so it's gonna improve his wood gathering, but he's been chopping a lot of wood so far, and it could have been just basically 10% more wood in his pocket, right? So maybe an extra mana or something just from that upgrade. Either way, now he's got it. A bit poking here. 1 vill going down. The Seapoy coming in for a flank. Migo being maybe slightly advantage in the Musketeer War, and he's got 5 Gorkhas coming as well. Then again, there's a couple Hussars here, but it's not exactly enough to kill this army. So yeah, Migo lost a Vill, but Eric lost 2 Musks, so kind of an even trade at this point. Two Hussars just being pushed away. Now Migo knows that Eric is going for Huss, so he will probably be kind of careful with his Gorkhas now. And just going for the greedy India build, so wood trickle, 300 export. He probably has the 4 Ottoman villagers, he's got them. Meanwhile, Brits sitting on 40 views and shipped 700 gold. And still gathering the gold while pushing, so it's kind of weird because you either want to age or you want a mass out of that, but either way you shouldn't really be pushing now. So, well, either way he's just going back and maybe just a couple of shots from India here, but I don't think he killed any. Well, he killed one more Musk. India not quite having all market upgrades, but he only misses the second gold upgrade in the imperial bureaucracy, which is the 10, like basically eco theory, 10% gathering on all resources. Still no duck for either player. And Eric is still not aging, so it looks like he's gonna keep massing with his gold. The thing that is gonna be kind of tricky to push into this space. This unit composition is just very strong. Sepoy Gorka, and it's gonna be tough to just catch, like to get a good catch with the hussars here. Looks like Snow is just checking that there's no Vils here, just containing a bit. But the thing is that, yeah, how is it gonna push into that? And if he doesn't push, what is he doing? Because he cut 600 wood, so he has less eco than he could. And instead he's got the gold for mass. But now this has to pay off. It's a good timing for Eric. He's got a lot of units, but I'm not sure it's gonna really matter all that much. Although Migo kind of wasting a couple of sepoys here, which is gonna be very good for Snow. But now there's also an extra Mahout from Migo, so I'm not sure Brits can do all that much here with the Minutemen and maybe even the. No, he's got the Constellate Hussars. Okay, so here's a fight. The Hussars going in, the Sepoy in melee doing some work, the Mahout gonna tank a lot, there's the Minutemen also going forward. And this is a close fight, but I think when one unit shipment comes in, probably Euromies, it's gonna be very hard for Snow. Popping some Vils in the fight, the Sepoy in melee just DPSing everything down. I think this is very good for India at this point. Because when the unit shipment comes, it's going to be a total cleanup. Yeah, 8 Gorkas coming in. And that is a problem when you go for this kind of colonial push against Sepoy Gorka in base. It's just very hard to do anything with your cav. And I don't think India even lost Vils, or maybe just 1 or 2 Vils. Yeah, he's lost 3 Vils overall. So just 2 more Vils in this fight, which is a very cheap price to pay when you're able to be H3 way earlier than your opponent and to just hold like that and take a great trade in terms of military. He's killed so many Hussars, so many Musks, and just lost his Mahout and 11 Sepoy and some Consulate Hussars. He did lose 1 more Vil here, but he might kill the Hussars, so it's not too bad of a trade, killing 1 of them. Menzata Sepoy coming out, so definitely planning to train more of these. He still doesn't have a stable. I don't think Migo actually intends to build a stable like ever. He's probably just gonna stop making Gorkas. He's got enough of them for the range, I guess, and then he's gonna focus on just making a lot of Sepoys. He's upgrading his Gorkas from his barracks. Meanwhile, Eric is aging. And he shipped 6 longbows while aging. He shipped them 50 seconds ago, which is pretty much when he was starting to age. So I'm not sure why he shipped 6 longbows here. It's really kind of a sad shipment at this point. Maybe he just didn't want to stack too many shipments. Maybe he felt like he needed this unit shipment to hold if India pushes when Brits is up. Either way, it's a bit sad for him to have these 6 longbows in. 8 Gorkas followed by 9 Sepoys now, so India just making sure he doesn't die to any sort of colonial pressure. But he will see that Brits is up, and I think he will just push then. Still sort of an even game, even though Brits wasted a lot of units there. But the thing is that the Indian units are much stronger now. And he will probably just ship that. I think this is a great card because it upgrades the whole Indian army at this point. Not much happening anymore in this game. Oh, okay. So Eric is gonna get the Seminole settlement and probably just get this upgrade, which gives an extra 25% to his longbows. It's a great upgrade. It's expensive, but it's very good if you can get it, if you can afford to get it. Two Fogs as well. So this is sort of a solid unit composition from Eric. But then again, the Indian units are so strong as well. He's got Bossman Zabdars, he's got the Siege Elephants. So not opting for the upgrade, but instead getting the Siege Elephants so that he can deal with the Falconets. Dropping a town center. So playing a little bit greedy here. And Eric might just be pushing now. He will not be able to deny that town center though, but I think boss players are gonna see each other now and a fight might just start. Sorry, I need to lower that a little bit. Alright, so Migo is going in, he's gonna snipe the Falconets with his Siege Elephants. Gonna try to keep them alive though. And yeah, that Falk is gonna die without shooting it actually, so this is great for Migo here. Now he's got more units and better units as well. I mean, the stats on these units is just are insane. And when he gets the upgrade, I really hope he ships this next now. Although Streamer House could be nice for the snare as well, but I think this card is really nice. And then his sepoys will have insane stats. They already have insane stats actually. 200 and almost 60 HP, 33 attack, while Eric's musketeers have just way less. And the Gurkhas are also very strong. And 5 longbows going to be donated here, so that is not too good for Eric. Nice splits from Migo. This barracks is going to go down, and Eric is building a second racks, but right behind the first one, so not very safe. Tuma House coming in, so I guess this is go time for Migo. There's not all that much stuff for Eric left. He really doesn't have a big mass. And I think this is GG probably. I mean, I don't see Brits doing anything here. He doesn't really have quite the mass to challenge this infantry mass from India. Some Husp with Calf Combat, so they're pretty strong, but just not enough of them. Unless and Zabdar going in melee mode. And yeah, now how do you deal with that as Brits here? And the Siege Elephants are actually still alive as well, just adding so much siege potential to this unit composition. They do 400 damage to buildings each. So basically one of these Siege Elephants deals as much damage as 2 Falconets. So this is like 4 Falconets shooting at the TC. Some longbows trying to get some volleys. Nice control from Eric abusing the range, but not really gonna matter all that much. And this is quite a one-sided first game actually. GG. 1-0 for India bot so far. So yeah, this push just didn't really work. The colonial push from Brits was not exactly what he needed there. and then he just delayed his whole build order. He just aged quite a bit later than India, and didn't even have a much better eco, nothing special. Oh, he did start water booming at the end. I didn't see that, but he made only 6 boats, so it didn't really matter. Gathered like probably 500 or 1k food out of these, max. He did get the stamina upgrade, so his longbows have a lot of attack, but it didn't really matter. Yeah, that trade was just great for India here. And the second fight was great as well. Alright, out then. So 1-0 for CMC. In before corporal or something? Sergeant, okay, a bit better than corporal. Thank you. Because usually he always calls me a corporal, so. Typical fare. So it looks like this is Arkansas now. And I'll be right back in a minute. Alright, and here we go into game 2 of this play 05, and now it's going to be a German mirror. So Migo locking Germany first, and Eric just decided to go for the mirror, which makes sense because Eric, pretty much his main sieve, or one of his main sieves, is Germany, and he's really comfortable in German mirrors, so he decides to just go for that matchup. We'll see what Migo can do, though. Maybe not as experienced as Eric in German Mirror, but he does play quite a lot of Germany as well. And we have here on the right side of the map, Eric in the color green playing Germany against another player playing Germany, Migo in the color teal. And this is a food start. No extra coin, no extra wood, and most of the players actually deciding to go for a house and no market, which I really dislike, especially because you have gold in your base, so you can definitely go for market. But I mean, it's okay. You can also do that. Looks like Migo just barely didn't scout that treasure. So if he saw that, he would have been able to go for a trading post. But without that treasure, he's not gonna do that. Eric kind of late on the scouting, maybe just picking up, yeah, just picking up the 2 treasures in his base. And going on top, which is not really what you want. Usually the good treasures in the middle, and you can see Migo going in the middle, already getting a food treasure, gonna find maybe a second food treasure. And that's it actually. This pawn isn't too... Well, there's also 95 wood, so yeah. While on top, sometimes you get 1 treasure, and maybe sometimes you get a CDB. Yeah, there's a CDB treasure. Maybe that's what Snow is looking for. But it's very risky to try to get that CDB treasure. So it looks like actually Eric is probably gonna get no treasure the whole game. Unless he finds the 95 wood here. Or maybe he can contest the food treasure if Migo tries to go for it. We'll see what Eric does. But his scouting pattern wasn't really great. You don't want to go scout on top. You really want to go directly out on the map in the middle here. And yeah, I don't think he's going to be there in time to contest the second food treasure. So Migo is just going to age up so much earlier. Gonna be spotted though. Eric going melee mode with the Explorer already. And so now Migo has to escape because he has less HP and he really doesn't want to lose the Explorer because then he can't build a trading post. So he's gonna get hunted down until his base, but then again, I mean, he did get 170 food, which is just great. While Eric got only 40 food. So Migo is totally able to age up 16 villas with no idle time at all. He hasn't even popped his last vill yet. And now it's popped and Migo is just aging. So this is a really good start for Migo. Gonna be up very early. One vill earlier than Eric, who has to go for a 17 age up. Then Eric might find the 95 wood now though, and he might just try to go for it. I'm not sure because it's really close to Migo's base, so it's kind of risky. But yeah, so yeah, he's gonna decide to ignore it. But then he will just get no treasure the whole game. There is still the CDB treasure on top that you can pick up with 2 Ulans. Hopefully one of these players can find it. And so yes, Migo going for his trading post. Gonna get the XP. And Eric gonna soon build his own trading post. And a 50 gold treasure, which is nice. We have a market going down for Eric as well. And a market for Migo. It's just a little bit hard to get your market upgrades in time. So I like that Migo went for only 25 wood and not 125 because it's almost impossible to get 125 wood after getting your upgrades and a trading post in transition. Then he can just buy 100 wood if you're in his pop space. Or actually he can just use that. Need to start it soon though, before Eric can steal it. I think he should have gone for it before, because he knows Eric would go for a trading post. So he could have gone for it before Eric actually can come back and contest it. Maybe he can just wait for 2 Ulans. Actually, it's even better. He's going to be up before Eric and just pop 2 Ulans and go pick up that treasure. Because that would be very nice for him now. Actually getting steel traps. So he must have bought 100 wood for that, at least. And no military building just yet. This is very greedy from Migo here. He's mining a lot of gold. Going for barracks. So probably just gonna age quite early and defend with some doppels. But the barracks is kind of late. Because he had to buy 100 wood for the barracks. Okay, yeah, he didn't buy wood before, but now he did to build that barracks here. What is Eric doing meanwhile? He's got his own barracks in base. Kind of weird. I don't know why they both go for barracks in base, because you might as well go front base if you're gonna barracks, right? I mean, Migo aging 16 could have been a good reason to drop barracks here, just because he knows he's up earlier, so he has some window to do some damage maybe, like start burning the trading post. But this is going to be a passive game because there's no way you can push with dops into dops plus Minutemen. Like, you can't really do anything then. So, just 2 dops patch for Eric. Gonna go forward with them. I guess he suspects Migo is going naked FF, and I think Migo has only 1 doppel in queue, but he will not train it unless he has to. So I think he's just cancelling it and going for the greedy naked FF 3 settler wagon 700 wood, which is absolutely great if you can get away with it. But I think Snow knows about it, because I don't think it's the first time Migo goes for that kind of naked FF in German Mirror. And I think Eric knows about it, so he just made 2 dops and gonna just siege down the trading post with them. And meanwhile, gonna age with 700 gold. So what do we have at the end of the day? Oh, one Vil going down here. Might lose one Ulan at least. So it's not too bad for Migo here. So yeah, what do we have at the end of the day? We have Migo aging up a little bit earlier with much better infrastructures. It's gonna get a barracks, a stable, houses, and maybe vet Ulan early on in Fortress. Meanwhile, Eric has 2 dops, which are gonna be really kind of useless in H3. Although they can sit on your resources and defend a raid, which is nice. Like, there's a lot of raids in German Mirror, so these 2 dops can defend, and Migo just barely gonna get the last XP before the TP goes down. But yeah, so Migo will have no trading post, but he's up earlier and he's got a better shipment, which is 700 wood. While Eric is gonna have to chop a lot of wood now. So I think at this point Migo is a bit ahead, but he did lose a Vil, and he did lose his trading post. So eventually Eric should be ahead, but for the time being, I think there's a window where Migo can just be stronger. Well, he's not up much earlier, actually. Yeah, it's kind of an even game. I don't know. It's hard to say at this point. Like, 700 wood is extremely nice for Germany. It's very hard to keep your pop space if you just if you don't ship that. But then again, yeah, he lost the Vil, he lost his TP, so it's kind of a close game. War Wagons first from Migo here. And gonna just push out directly with 5 skirms, 3 War Wagons, and a bunch of Ulans. But Snow will get his own skirmisher shipment very soon. I mean, his own unit shipment, 3 War Wagons coming in. So 1 Dop and 1 Ulan going down. But the thing that they're fighting close to Snow's base, so he's got faster reinforcements, and Migo has to be very careful here. Kind of half the army of Snow staying in the back, the War Wagons not doing much, some Ulans being AFK, and this is not too good for Eric. Not a huge trade here, but yeah, the Ulan's just gonna go on top of everything here and probably just gonna clean up. I mean, there's really not much for Eric to fight this. He doesn't have veteran Ulans either. So this is why the 700 wood is so nice, because you just get a much better timing in early Fortress if you get away with it. It's really risky, but when you do get away with it, you end up having veteran Ulans and having just better batches of units because you have houses and you don't need to chop. While, as you can see, Eric is constantly chopping wood. So that was a great trade for Migo here, and he's just already ahead now. And yeah, Eric not too satisfied about his performance here. Gonna comment by, the fuck am I playing? Because yeah, that was sloppy here. Half of his units in the back. If he did call Minutemen earlier, and if he didn't have his units in the back, he might have taken a fine trade there. But unfortunately for Eric, yeah, he's gonna be just behind. Also, losing Ulans before veterancy means that when you do get the veterancy, well, you just upgrade less Ulans, so the veterancy is less valuable now than it would have been if he didn't lose his Ulans. So yeah, just Migo being quite ahead now in the military. Still 1 villager behind. By the way, still no one scouted here, which is a big mistake everyone does in Arkansas. You always want at some point to scout the top, because there can be a 235 gold with 3 pirates, or there can be a CDB treasure, that kind of stuff. Either way, Ulan's going on top of the Vils. Migo has to be careful not to overcome it here, but this looks like it's going to be maybe GG. Although, yeah, I guess the War Wagons are going to be strong. Yeah, Eric is going to be cleaned up here. And I think this is going to be 2-0. I mean, unless an 8 Ulan shipment might be on the way, so maybe not. Maybe Eric can just pop 8 Ulans here, because he does have a trading post, so he will get his shipment earlier. So now Migo really has to go back and be careful, because anything can pop out of here. Either way, even if he gets cleaned up by 8 Ulans, this was still a good trade for Migo. So even if he loses his entire army here, it's still okay for him, because he's just so ahead. And there's more war wagons coming actually, so Migo is going to be totally safe here. And all he has to do now is just pull back. Even the eco, even being 1 wheel ahead now actually, and he's got just a decisive military advantage. So I don't think Migo should keep pushing. It's the best way to lose at this point. You can get caught by, like I said, 8 Ulans and maybe one more batch of Ulans and that kind of stuff. So I wouldn't, I just would go back now. Yeah, because there you go, right? Why would you keep pushing when you're that much ahead? You all you have to do is go back and just play it safe. He's still gonna be fine because he has much more military though. So that catch was good by Snow, but with the reinforcements now, he's gonna have to resign, and this is gonna be GG. Quite a second solid game from Migo here, and Eric playing a little bit sloppy maybe and just losing quite quickly. So yeah, that's the thing. I didn't see that. Well, they traded some Olans, but basically, you can see Migo just getting full batches of units early on. He goes from 2 to 32 pop. So 30 pop is like 3 war wagons and 3 Olans plus 5 skirms plus 5 Olans or something like that. While Eric gets only less than that, just only 20 pop instead of 30, just 20, and then calls the Minutemen. So because of no 700 wood, he's just behind by a batch of units basically early on, and it was enough to just lose the game here. So that makes it 2-0 for Migo. And we're gonna go into the game 3 now. And it's now gonna be Manchuria. Migo cannot pick India again, but either way, it's up to Snow to pick first. It looks like he might be going for Russia, which is maybe not exactly what you want to pick on this map, but looks like Snow is comfortable going for that. So Russia being quite a strong sieve at the moment. Definitely played a lot at the moment, and with some good results. And we'll see what Migo decides to counterpick against that. So on this map, there's a lot of yaks and a couple nice wood treasures. So you can play, for example, India, but again, Migo didn't. He already played India, so he cannot play it again until next game, where it will be the sieve reset. And it's gonna be China. Yeah, that's another really strong sieve on Manchuria because again of the yaks and the wood treasures. And we're gonna wait for Migo to green up. Probably thinking through his strats. And there we go. He's gonna green up now. And we're going into this game 3 of the play 05 between Eric and Migo. And I'm gonna try to check the hunts now for once. I think it's fine. Yeah, this is actually, yeah, okay, so this is really fine. I think it's really fair. They both got 3 close hunts, basically, pretty much. So yeah, here on the bottom left side of the map, it's Eric in the color green playing Russia, while on the other side it's China, played by Migo in the color teal. And this is a wood start, which is just really good for Russia, as China anyway gets always the same crates, but Russia will have an extra 100 food. And I also believe it was a food start. I think he had 600 food worth of crates. So that is the best possible start you can get in this matchup as Russia, pretty much. Um, Eric going for some yaks in the middle. Migo doing the same with his disciple. Gonna grab 4 yaks, so 2 times 2 yaks, while Eric grabs only 2 here, I believe. But meanwhile, Eric is working on that treasure. But Migo is hiding his explorer, doing a good job of waiting until the last second. And now Eric is gonna have to take it, and looks like Migo's got it actually. So great start for Migo here. Should also pick up that yak before Eric does. So that is at least a win for Eric getting that yak here. Yaks are really valuable for China as they can fatten on their villages, which are basically the Chinese houses. And so China went for a trading post, which is questionable on this map. I don't know which one is the best. Maybe against Russia, the trading post is better because you kind of want to ship units in H2 to defend the rush, maybe. But generally speaking, a second village is also nice because it means you can scout more with your monk and find more yaks and then fatten them all on the village. But either is fine. I'm not a big China player anyway, so I wouldn't risk saying one is better than the other. Just saying this, I think on this kind of map there's 2 options. The 2 villages build is also fine. But yeah, he's opting for the trading post. So for example, that yak is not going to be able to fatten unless he eats the goat, which he probably will. And from the Russian side, we have only, well, nothing as usual. Just a house in H1 and gathering the food to age up as soon as possible. And Eric is waiting to crackshot that 50 wood treasure here. There's still 1 yak. I don't think Eric actually saw it, but Migo must have scouted it at some point. Eric pulling 3 wheels forward, going for a very aggressive blockhouse, most likely. Migo setting only 2 wheels on the Wonder and chopping a little bit of extra wood for something. Maybe he wants to play it H2, maybe he just wants to go for a market, which is probably an option when you have that kind of wood treasure in H1 and also 65 coin now. He could decide to build a market. Or maybe he just wants another village, because another village is also really nice against a rush. Because if you lose your only village, you're housed, which is sad. But if you build a second village, then you can um, fatten these yaks and have some extra pop space. So the blockhouse is scouted here. The disciple gonna die, dying very fast because the blockhouse has a multiplier against disciples. China going for a consulate. So it's not going to be a standard FF, not actually a village, but a consulate. So it looks like he's probably not going for naked FF. I feel like a second village would have made a lot of sense here, but There has to be some sort of plan. 5 must coming in already before China is up. Because, yeah, he set only 2 wheels on the wonder there. Oh, that wheel didn't die, but almost. And China is probably just gonna go 300 export first and ship the redcoats. He's TC firing the musketeers. Gonna pull back his wheels inside. 1 wheel gonna go down. Maybe, nope, pulling back the other wheels. But yeah, 1 wheel going down. Disciple gonna die. So a decent first push here from Russia, but not a ton of damage being done. Just some idle time and killing a wheel. Maybe also because he's afraid of the consulate. He knows at some point there's gonna be some stuff popping out of that. And there comes the diplomatic intrigue. So we can expect to see the British consulate and a batch of redcoats now. And here comes the British consulate. And there's no way Russia kills the redcoats. I think that's just too strong. You can't fight the redcoats plus CC fire with that little army. You need strelets or more musks. And 700 gold is most likely on the way for China now. The thing is that now 700 wood comes in from snow, and he can just add some strelets with that. And yes, 700 gold coming in, and China is going to proceed to try to age up. Meanwhile, Eric is getting steel traps here, and he's got placer mines already. No TPs so far, so deciding to just ignore the TP line. And this is the Confucian Academy, I believe. So China will get 8 skirms upon age up. So he could try to fight a bit with his redcoats, but I think he has to keep them alive so that he's ready upon age up to just defend. 700 wood coming in as well. Gonna drop a second village and probably a war academy here. Maybe can drop a market as well. Although maybe you want to skip the market when you don't age up with the porcelain tower and you don't have that really nice wood trickle. Maybe you want to keep your wood for extra stuff instead of more eco against Russia. I'm not sure. So Migo is just trying to micro his Chu canoes, keeping his anti-cav alive. Really need to not... Oh, attacking the lion here. And this is a waste of redcoats. I think he needed to keep them hidden in the back because he needs to cover his skirmishers when they pop. Because there are quite a few Cossacks here, and this is going to be tough for China. Then again, if you ship the meteor hammers, it's a very powerful shipment. No, I don't think the wheel went down. No, didn't lose a wheel. But this small amount of anti-cav is gonna die probably, and the wheels are in danger. And yeah, now that's when you should have just kept them alive at this point, because how are you gonna cover your skirms from the Cossacks now? Even if you pop Minutemen, it's just not enough. So he really wanted to keep his redcoats alive. Gonna just trade his skirms for some infantry. Gonna try to snipe as many musketeers as possible. Couple of wheels going down. And it looks really good for Russia at this point, because I don't think a unit shipment is gonna be enough here. Although most of the skirmishers are still alive, so maybe China can just snipe he sniped all the musketeers, but more of them are coming in. But now if 5 meteor hammers pop, it could be really scary for China. Okay, redcoats is really good as well, actually. Most of the threats are dead, so Russia is going to have to pull back here. He did get quite a good trade. He killed most of the skirmishers from the age up. Actually, all of the skirmishers are down. He killed probably something like almost 5 wheels now. I think 4 wheels died the whole game. No, 6 actually. 6 wheels have died. So that is pretty good for Russia. Now he needs to hold the push though. He might just follow up with 700 gold now, either to age up or to remass a lot of units. But yeah, I mean, Russia has no more unit shipments, while China is going to start shipping a lot of them. Meteor Hammers coming in. If you can get some more batches of cav, plus dispatch from the Summer Palace, it might be a bit hard for Russia to handle that. And even though China is behind in eco, he does get free units out of both the Summer Palace and the Confucian Academy, and he also gets export, so he will get another batch of redcoats, and he gets powerful unit shipments, and he's got fat yaks, or almost fat yaks. So he can just mass a lot of shit right now. Even though his eco looks really bad, I don't think it's actually relevant at this point. I think regardless, China should outmass and he will have better units. Is it going to be enough to re-break these 2 blockhouses? We'll have to see. I think this is a close game at this point. It's hard to say who's really ahead right now. And I think there's going to be a strong timing for Migo when he gets one more batch from the Summer Palace, a Flying Crow from the Academy, and a batch of Redcoats when he has 400 export, and like maybe 1 or 2 more unit shipments. And then he will be able to push, and that will be a very strong timing for China, just when all the free stuff pops. And meanwhile, Eric losing a couple of Cossacks for free here, which is obviously not ideal. But he's got a big mass of mosques, and China doesn't really have any skirmishes yet to fight that. Another village going up. Russia trying to go in again from a different angle. Gonna be able to idle a few wheels, but gonna have to go back right after. I don't think he's got enough units to push in. There's gonna be another unit shipment popping anytime now, so Russia can't recommit here. He has to keep containing and wait for China to push. Maybe could have aged, in fact, but deciding to stay H2, which is also legit. And going for Boyas, so the Cossacks are going to be quite a bit upgraded here. Still no market for China indeed, which is probably correct. I don't think you can afford to go for market here. And now the 10 skirm shipment plus a couple of batches of skirms from the barracks. And Eric is going to try to push in here, but the pathing is going to be very bad for his Cossacks. And the Flying Crow popping in the back, a batch of cav as well. Not quite having the redcoats yet, but soon he will get extra redcoats and the batch from the Summer Palace. And I think Migo needs to go back here. He doesn't need to go in. All he has to do is to keep getting free kills with the skirms and the Flying Crow. And he does it now. Eric going back, not really able to push in. I think that was a good trade for China overall. And there's going to be another powerful unit shipment coming in for Migo here. Probably just a Chengdaos at this point. It's the last good unit shipment. And now, good positioning, I think, from Migo here. Although most of his units are lagging in the back. Never mind. This is pretty good for Eric, maybe. Then again, the Crow is still up, and that is going to do a lot of damage. The Cav in front is just naring, and this is probably GG, actually. I mean, Russia will be able to remass behind that, but he's just losing his entire army here. These Musketeers are not very powerful compared to the Chinese army, and yeah, that's just a lot of stuff alive. And again, like the redcoats are popping. There was a batch popping during the fight from the Summer Palace, and when the Chengdaos pop now, this is a very unkillable China army, if you ask me. I don't see Russia really massing enough to deal with that. Because now China can just train only cav from his barracks. Like, he's got enough infantry for the time being and can just train pure cavalry. And how do you defend your blockhouses when there's a Flying Crow shooting? That Crow does so much damage to buildings. And Russia is quite a bit ahead in eco, so he will be able to remass a lot of straight edge here. Maybe enough straight edge to defend, I'm not sure. But it's still quite a big military lead for China here. And China, yeah, Eric resigning, because, yeah, it's looking not good for him. And probably not going to be able to defend the next patches of Cav. Making it 3-0 for Migo. Quite a one-sided series so far, so now it's a guaranteed win for the CMC team. At least going to be 3-2. But maybe Eric can bring it back and just get the 2 next points. Maybe not. We'll have to see. But looking very good for Migo so far. Doing not many mistakes, honestly, in these games. There's a couple of sloppy things. Like he did lose some red codes here. Maybe 1 veil at some point. But really not a lot of mistakes by Migo. And Eric also not really doing many mistakes, just not really being able to punish the China FF. Again, this is a very good China map with the yaks and stuff. So you have a TP, you have a lot of livestock and some wood treasures. What else do you want as China? You really don't want much more. Oh, Eric could have picked that up for his stable. Would have been 2 extra 100 wood. Bit sad, but not a huge deal. So yeah, that fight here was just insane for China. Like just so much stronger units, and actually the skirms and the Minutemen and stuff trading really well. So yeah, GG. I think the resources graph must be funny. Yeah, so much idle time and just a superior eco. So Russia being really ahead in resources, but not enough to actually win the game anyway. And now it's gonna be Eric. No, it's gonna be Migo picking first, actually. Um, I just assume it's Jebel Musa, but I can check. If ESOC wants to open. There you go. Let's see. Herald Island. Oh yeah, well, I'm a bit late. Alright. There was a problem with Herald Island that it was just going out of sync at some point. But the Castet did play against For Justice on this map and it didn't bug. So I think we can try. He's locking Germany, which is again a very safe to pick in this kind of map as a first pick. And Eric counter picking with Sue, which is definitely, in my opinion, a good matchup for Sue here. And looks like Eric is also thinking that way. So we'll wait for him to green up. So this is a matchup where Germany just has more eco and gets more units early on thanks to the free lands, but the Sioux units are much stronger than the German ones, and they're strong and they're also the units you want because Bariders are super strong, but even stronger against Germany because strong Dragoons are overall good against Germany. So the unit composition is usually in favor of Germany there. In favor of Sioux, sorry, I mean. And this is a coin start, which is really nice for Germany here. Yeah, I was thinking it might out of sync. I don't know why it's white here. It's white around the pawn. So yeah, I don't know what actually causes this to happen. Because again, when we had Le Cassette against for Justice, it worked fine, but now it's going out of sync, and I don't think it. We need to change the map. Out of experience, when we did it previous time, we tried to spawn it like 3 times, and it just wouldn't matter. So I guess we're gonna go Mendocino, yeah, which is the map we used last time. It's quite a bit different from Herod Island. I'm just telling them that they can pick again. Obviously, it's not the same map, but since they're buskering up, I'm gonna assume it's good. And we go in again in this game 4 of the playoff 5 between Migo and Snow. Migo being up 3-0 so far, which is quite an upset. Then again, Eric is not very active. He's quite rusty, so obviously he's not playing his top level here. But still quite a convincing play so far from India Bot. Proving that he's not only an India Bot and he can do other stuff. And here we go. A coin start again, which is nice because it's the same as previous games, so it's fair. And it's going to be really good for Germany, especially since he's got some gold in his base. Gonna decide to ignore that treasure. Maybe he can send a Vil to pick it up and then herd the deers back. Because you kind of want that gold for your market. It's kind of sad to mine gold when you can just pick up a treasure. So yeah, I think he's going to send a Vil here. And just going to go out on the map with his Explorer. Meanwhile, Sue directly finding an 80 food, which is going to be very nice for him. And there you go. So that is good. 90 food for Germany here as well. And I don't think Sue will find it in time. Would be really unlucky if Sue would go straight here and steal it. But yeah, no, it's not possible at this point. Although might just come shortly after, but yeah, Germany gonna pick it up. So hunting dogs is research. Migo just bought 100 wood from these coin treasures he had and chopped 50 wood. Really clean macro actually, overgathering 0 coin, just mining 5 coin with a settler wagon and getting 70 coin from the treasures and also herding at the same time and just overgathering no wood, finding a nice food treasure. So I think Germany will have a very nice age up time here. Should age up with no idle time. On the other hand, well, there's not much to say about Sue just gathering food and aging, so there's not much to fade here. It has to be good macro, unless you fail your herding, I guess, but looks like he might want to go for that CDB treasure, which Migo hasn't scouted yet. So he might just be able to get it. Although Migo is just snacks, so it depends. It's 50% chance, but it looks like he's gonna go on this side and not on that one. So it's gonna be an extra CDB for Sue. Gonna lose a lot of HP on his Explorer. Not really microing, but I guess he didn't micro because he wanted to just pick it up as fast as he could to make sure to just secure the treasure. And now he's getting it. So that is a great treasure for Sue. So at the end of the day, I would say it's a Sue favored H1, but that's kind of normal just because it's Sue. So Sue will pick up the great treasures directly. And now finding the 95 wood, which Germany saw but decided to not take because obviously it's very risky to go for that against Sue. And also an XP treasure, but gonna tank with the bears, which makes sense because it's very low HP. So now Sue can just take that. And then use his convertibility to pick that up. Although he might be too low HP for that, but still, either way, it's a great H1 for Sue, but also a good H1 for Germany anyway. I mean, he's got 2 gold treasures in base, a food treasure, and a second food treasure, which is very good against Sue. It's not an insane H1, generally speaking, but in this specific matchup, I think it's a very good H1 for Germany. Also, just not dying is nice, because you could die to Renegado or something. And Eric will probably not even going to be able to convert the Renegados because he's too low HP and he needs to go for a trading post probably. So Gemini is going to be able to build his own trading post, which is always nice in this matchup. It's not something you always get to do. And attacking the gangs are upgrade, so we're probably going to see some good old school crossbow pike play. Although we also see placer mines, so not sure what Gemini will do. It might be crossbow pike, it might be just an FF or some doppels. We can't really know right now. Trying to herd that, but it's actually just a leftover one deer animal here, so it's not exactly worth herding. But the second hunt is here, and the third hunt, sorry, is here. And Sue also has a leftover animal here, but also gonna bring his two hunts in base. Taking indeed a training post himself and building some TPs in his base. So just very standard stuff so far from boss players. That CDB could maybe drop a war hut at some point if it doesn't die to the tool lance. Eric has to be careful that he doesn't lose his CDB to the tool lance from the first shipment. But if it doesn't die, he might just build a war hut at some point, which is always nice. 400 would age up obviously for boss players. And we see a barracks in base. You can't really go for a stable against Sue. Sue gonna instantly scout the barracks. And going for a stable himself. And a market as well. Migo pulling back his veil a little bit early. Could have kept herding a little bit more maybe, because this is just gonna walk away now. You kind of want to herd it now, because if you don't herd this now, then Sue is gonna raid and you will not be able to herd it anymore, maybe. And it can be either X-Riders or Riders actually in this matchup, and we have Riders here. Toolans trying to catch the Explorer, but the Explorer is of course faster. And by the way, Eric did pick up 95 wood at some point recently. So that is another nice treasure. Yet another nice treasure for Sue. That spawn was pretty good. There was a lot of good treasures on this spawn actually. Not really a lot of useless ones. Only this coin here and the two sheep. But everything else was good and they just picked it up. Especially good for Sue. Wow, and Migo already going forward with 5 pikes and 2 ulans. Which is very risky. I guess he wants to save his Explorer, but how do you fight the Berators now? And yeah, Migo will have to go back. He will probably just send his Explorer to Snare and buy some time here, but Eric can decide to follow Migo. So one Ulan died in... No, wait, he didn't lose an Ulan, but almost one Ulan died here. And Migo is going to be able to retreat back to safety with his spikes. And he actually stopped training units. So gonna go for a very quick semi-FF. Eric, meanwhile, is training more units, even though he shipped 700 gold now. It looks like he wants to just mass from that gold. And maybe... No, maybe he's gonna age now? Yeah, I guess he's gonna age. And Migo with only 5 pikemen is gonna have a hard time defending that massive unit, so this is a good timing for Eric. Although Minutemen could defend that, but... oh, 3 bows is not quite enough, yeah. So Migo kind of needs Minutemen, but anyway, even if you lose your army here as Germany, it's not a huge deal, because you're aging and it's just a bunch of crap units. So this was okay actually for Migo, not losing too much. Needs to just escape the Uhlans now, just escape your Uhlans and let your pikes and crossbows die, just keep these guys alive. But yeah, Snow not quite pushing it, just feeling like obviously Snow would clean up and he knows it, but he feels like maybe he's not going to take the greatest trade. That Explorer is also very low HP. So just going back and gonna age up a little bit later just because he trained these extra units. And the extra units didn't actually really pay off. I mean, if we check at the units lost, Germany lost 2 pikes and Sue lost 1 X-Rider. And Germany got idled a little bit, but really not that much. So not really that big of a deal. And Eric shipped 700 wood after the 700 gold because he anyway delayed his age up, so he has time to ship it. And he also got 135 XP. And now I think he's aging slow with the Bisons. And I think this is definitely one of the matchups where you want to do that against Germany, because you might be under pressure early on. So just being safe with your TPs and all and extra food is nice. And 2 gold mines, and he just needs more TPs, really. If you're gonna edge up with Bisons, you want to have 10 TPs, and he's got extra wood. He could literally drop 7 TPs now and just max them. Would be good, I think, but... Wait, never mind, this was a fast age. My bad. So it makes more sense that he didn't build more TPs, I guess. Although he still could, really. You have so many resources in base, you definitely can make more than 3 of them, and it's just good. There's no reason not to do it. Especially when you have some leftover wood. Though he... Sorry, he might want to keep that wood to upgrade his Axe Riders, actually. 3 war wagons first from Germany, which is just a safe shipment. Could have gone 1k wood, but not wanting to take that risk, and I respect that. You never know what Su is going to do, if he's just going to come in your base in H2 with a lot of stuff or something like that. 9 Wakinas on the field for Su here, so he's got a solid unit composition. The Explorer is maybe going to spot the Wakinas, though. None of the players are really able to do much at this point. I don't think Germany can afford to push out, but I also don't think Su can really push in. These skirms are idle here, but probably just going to be found soon. Hopefully they're not just going to stay here and die. No, okay. He found them. And we can probably expect some more war wagons in queue. No, going for only 3 war wagons here, which is really risky. Usually Su goes quite heavy on Axe Riders in this matchup, so you kind of want a lot of war wagons. But in fact, going for the 9 Uhlans, which is sort of a gamble, because if Su is going heavy on skirmishers, which he kind of is doing, you might be able to clean up with your Uhlans. But if it goes heavy on Cav, then you're kind of sad to have 9 Uhlans. Eric coming in for the raid, gonna kill 2 Vils and 1 Pike and deny a house. But Germany is gonna try to trap, and this is looking kind of scary, but Su luckily gonna spot it with his skirms. He's gonna lose 3 skirms, but he's also gonna be ready, you know, like he's not gonna get trapped or something. And Migo is realizing that, so he's not gonna try to trap anymore. He's just gonna send his skirms. The eco is now even after that raid. But Germany has a skirmisher advantage, and his skirmishers have more range, which is very nice in skirmisher wars. And Migo decides to take the fight. I don't think that is a very good fight to take, pulling back, realizing he cannot do that. Losing a couple Uhlans for free, but not really for free, because he's also killing a Rider and an Axe Rider. So this was looking really scary for Germany for a second. I think this was going to be GG, because if you send your Uhlans in like that, you just lose the game now. But in fact, not too big of a deal here. Kind of an even trade so far. We can check the units lost. The 2 Vils kind of hurt for Germany, but in return, he sort of killed more units. Like, it has 2 Vils, 3 Pikes, and 1 Uhlan, which is sort of equivalent probably to this little mass of units lost by Su here. And 1 more Skirm gonna die. 1 more Pike as well. Su gonna be out of food. You're gonna have to move out on the map for his next hunt. Germany not quite out of food yet, because Germany doesn't need that much food. But soon gonna run out of gold. It's a nice thing when you go for crossbow pike in H2 as Germany, you preserve your gold mines. So you would usually already be out of gold at this point as Germany. You would be already on your next gold mine. But because of that crossbow pike play, he didn't really need that much gold. And Germany pushing out again. I'm not sure why Germany is so aggressive in this matchup. You don't really want to push unless you have a lot of war wagons and that kind of stuff. But not much happening again. I feel like Eric could just jam it all in, but he was waiting for calf combat. And Germany has much more stuff, but honestly, I think if they fight, Su just wins because he's got calf combat and just so many Axe Riders. Although more war wagons joining the fray and some skirmishers as well. You kind of need more war wagons though and less skirms at this point. I think Germany should really pull back and just get calf combat and more war wagons before he takes a fight here, because this is a lot of skirms, but you don't want that many skirms against Sue, really. You want more war wagons. And this is... He called the big button for only 4 dogs, which is not very good, but regardless, it's a strong timing for Sue. And everything is clashing in. The skirmishers in front gonna die, but also gonna sort of tank so that the war wagons stay alive and can still kill the cav. Ulan's just doing a good job, but I think ultimately this is a good fight for Sue with the cav combat, and Germany is gonna just lose its entire army and not gonna be left with much at all. This is why you don't push out that early as Germany against Sue. You just first wait until you have cav combat and a lot of anti-cav until you take a fight. And this is just GG. I mean, there's no way you beat this 2 army now. And Migo is gonna call the GG here indeed. That was just too risky for Germany. It was like already 2 or 3 times I was like, are you sure you want to push there? And yeah, he just got cleaned up pretty badly. This is what happens in this matchup as Germany if you just don't play it very carefully. And it's the same in a lot of matchups, actually. So that big button wasn't too good, only 4 dogs, but it was just good because he got calf combat and it was the right timing to call it. So I kind of like that he called it too early, just because it was... at the end of the day, it was good. It just paid off. And yeah, look at that. Also, Migo didn't do the greatest job of kiting with his war wagons and skirms. He sort of just Z-moved everything and didn't really kite, so he could have got a better trade. I think either way, Migo would have lost this fight, no matter what. But he could have maybe traded better than that. Wow, Sue actually ahead in resources. Maybe because he shipped 700 wood, but still. And just a really good ratio for Sue. You don't really want to ship 9 Ulans against Sue unless you catch him directly, but usually 9 Ulans in this matchup is sort of a follow-up after taking a big fight with war wagons and skirms and cleaning each other's army up. Then you ship 9 Ulans as a follow-up and try to catch the reinforcing Wakinas maybe, but you don't really want to ship that early on at all. You want to just do like 8 skirms and 3 war wagons, maybe 1k wood if you can get away with it. Maybe Black Riders, Jaeger, something, but you don't really want to ship 9 Ulans so much. Not before your 3rd or 4th shipment, at least, as Germany here. So that means Eric is actually winning a game here, and that makes it 3-1 now. So Eric looking for a comeback here. And now Eric has to pick first. And the map is in Din Bengal. So we probably expect Migo to just go for India here, just because it's his main save and the map is quite nice for India. But Dutch does fine against India. Kind of a close matchup on this kind of map. And the problem is that India is probably not going to be able to drop an Agra fort in the middle because the islands are so small and you cannot really drop an Agra anywhere if your opponent blocks you a little bit with the Explorer. So instead, Migo is opting for the Russia, which is also makes sense. I mean, this is another close matchup. Maybe a bit Russia favored on this kind of map, which doesn't have a lot of resources in base. So we're gonna wait for Eric to record the game in green up, and then we will go in this match point of the play 05. All right, my bad. Players are greening up, so let's go in this last game now. So they're gonna basically fight for the last point, fight for either 4-1 for Migo or 3-2 for Eric. I mean 2-3 for Eric. So that is important because it makes kind of a big difference between 4-1 and 3-2. Let's check the hunts quickly. It does look like Russia is maybe low on hunts here. I need to check a bit closer. I guess it's okay. Yeah, it's sort of similar. Boss players have not very good hunts actually, which is kind of normal for this map to be fair. They just have one really close hunt, and the next one is pretty far, but still herdable under the TC. So yeah. What about the gold mines? They're quite symmetrical actually, so that is good. Let's go then. All right, so we have on the right side of the map India bot leading 3-1, playing in the color teal as usual, and playing Russia against Eric on the other side of the map, the well-known König Eric, aka Snow, as Dutch in the color green. And they're gonna just rush the yaks a bit in the middle, just try to pick up all these water buffaloes actually. And there's a nice 100-foot treasure here, but Russia not restarting it. Even though it's a great treasure, it's also really hard to pick up, and Dutch with the envoy is able to scout it, so it's quite hard to pick it up. And thanks Daniel for the $1 donation. Easy for CMC, he says. Yeah, indeed. Meanwhile, Eric microing a 90 wood, but Migo on his tail just gonna try to deny that treasure. Waiting too long though. I don't know. Oh, actually it's gonna be very close. I think Eric's got it though. And then Migo can't even snare the Explorer because there's the Envoy on the map and he knows it. So yeah, good pickup for Eric here. And the foot count. Wow. Wait. Russia going for 17 HUP? Yeah, he just queued too many bills. So he canceled them. So it's not looking that bad as it was looking. What else is left on the map? Some small treasures. Not really anything interesting. Well, there's 50 coin, it's nice. And a 40 coin, 80 coin actually. And 100 food. That's all that is left on the map. Eric is herding here. And Migo using this second hunt instead of the elephants, which is kind of questionable because this is annoying to herd later on, even more annoying than early on. So you might as well kill them, the two of them, and just use them for your age up and then herd. One wheel going forward. So maybe it's just a one wheel blockhouse. Migo is chopping more than 250 wood, so he's probably gonna go for a market here. Although I don't know why he doesn't drop it just yet. And that wheel is going very much forward and gonna be instantly spotted by Eric here. He might be able to block the blockhouse actually. Wow, that is a clutch blockhouse placement right on at the end of this island here, just as close as you can from the TC. Pulling, no, not pulling a second wheel, that's the envoy. Eric could probably kill that wheel with the envoy or just siege a lot of HP from the blockhouse. Ah, Migo chop for an extra house? This is really, really weird. I think if you have a chop in transition, you drop a market. You don't build a second house. I don't know what this is for. You get 5 pop from the blockhouse anyway, and you get 400 wood from the edge up, so I don't know why you would need a second house. This is misplayed in my opinion, but okay, we'll see. Blockhouse is sieged down to half its HP. And a stable going up for Eric, so we can expect the bank wagon first here. Although he's stacking so much food, it might be 700 wood? Or maybe it's just Miss Macro? No, it's bank wagon, yeah. So Eric has to pull more wheels on gold, maybe, if he wants to get a good batch of hustles here. I think he will, or he might just sell some food or something. He's getting the wheel upgrade. Just playing it safe against this early pressure. I like that Migo is repairing the blockhouse. It's very important. And he anyway had extra wood. So 5 Cossacks and 5 Masks coming in. Starting to pressure a little bit the wheels. Should probably idle with his Cossacks on this gold mine and not actually siege. Because he can't... If 5 has popped now, this is looking very bad for Russia. With TC Fire, 5 has probably win the fight. So... has to be careful here. Thank you for the donation, Spanley. $3 donation, thanks a lot. 5 has now pop. 4 has now popping. So not too much achieved by Russia here, but it wasn't very all-in anyway. So he's got a market up now. But again, I don't understand why he chopped that much wood, because now he's just stacking 300 wood and it looks like he doesn't really know what to do with it. A raid coming in, but I think it was spotted by the blockhouse. So Migo is just sending his Cossacks back. They're all full HP. So with TC Fire, the Cossacks can definitely take on the Hussars. He shouldn't try to fight out of TC Fire though, because 4 Hussars definitely beat 5 Coss. But with TC Fire, it's quite the opposite. So few masks poking again. Oh, getting stuck. Well, just gonna get TC fired anyway, so it doesn't really matter, right? And the fight here, but yeah, you can't fight 4 Huss with 5 Cossacks. It doesn't make sense. So Migo just wasting his Cossack shipment here, trading it, sorry, for essentially 2 Hussars and half, which is really not good. And Migo following 5 Coss with 700 gold, but still gathering gold, so he might want to go h3, but I don't think this is how you play it at all against Dutch. Especially if you don't get steel traps. You don't really want to have all your wheels on foot like that without steel traps. Then again, Eric is also kind of wasting his 700 gold, because he really didn't need to ship that now. And he's on 3 banks, which isn't exactly the greatest Dutch eco, but it's definitely decent. Migo trying to wall up, probably to defend the raids, but yeah, not gonna be very successful here. Snow just not overstaying, just pulling back. And yeah, that's the thing, right? I mean, Russia is so slow with that kind of build order, and gonna age up just later than Dutch with less eco and sort of similar mass, I guess. He does have a nice second blockhouse here, so totally containing Dutch, like getting line of sight everywhere. There's no way any Dutch unit can move out on the map without being seen by these blockhouses here. But yeah, I mean, Dutch is just up. He didn't really lose anything. He didn't even lose a house. He just traded overall 2 hussars and some idle time for 5 musks and 5 costs, which is quite a good trade for Dutch here. Just getting away with doing his build safely. And then what? Then he can just go 1k wood, right? I mean, when he sees that that Russia is aging, he can just 1k wood anytime and get at least one more bank and a barracks. But looks like Snow is going for a unit shipment anyway. He wants to just break the contain here. So just going with these vet hussars, not a bunch of them, and not gonna take that fight, but the blockhouse is gonna kind of trade okay here just because it's buying time and shooting at the hussars. But now 8 skirms on the field, so Russia definitely cannot take that fight. He needs to pull back here. He's just gonna waste his entire army. 23, that's interesting, but there's quite a few hussars, quite a few veteran hussars here. More mass coming in. I don't know how this fight is gonna go, really. It's quite close. I think, no, Dutch got it, definitely. The unit composition is just so much better for Dutch. And all his units are veteran as well, while none of the Russian units are actually veteran. This 23 achievement was a big waste here, and this is just probably GG already. I mean, now Russia can just follow up with 9 Ritters or something. Yeah, he could have just shipped 6 Cossacks and clean up, or just not take the fight. Like, yeah, that was, yeah, GG, I guess. Not a very good game here. All of these games were kind of one-sided, actually. The first 3 games were already one-sided for Migo, and the 2 last games were quite one-sided for Snow. Yeah, kind of shitty games. I sort of agree, to be perfectly honest. Not really any good game there. All right, so I guess it's the end of it then. It was quite a quick series, I believe, actually. Just fast games overall. No really long game here. So we can have a quick look at the graph. And yeah, that was just a terrible straight at pop here. He really didn't want to do that. He really didn't want. That is not what you want to do. Even 20 straight at here and getting the veterancy, and then maybe a stable and some Kavachas, and he would be fine. But you can't just pop 20 unupgraded straight ats like that into vet Haas and skirms. So yeah, GG. 3-2 for CMC. So Eric saving it, looking very behind in the first 3 games and was looking very bad for the team Nila Ninjas, but in fact just bring it back to 3-2, which is an honorable score at the end of the day. And that is going to be it for today. I believe there should